Hey guys, due to how quickly I had to speed up this footage, there's some flashing lights and some very quick motion, so if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, you may want to skip this one. I did try to cut out the worst of it, and I'm going to try to put some warnings on where I think it's too bad, but I'll also put the timestamp down below for the screenshots in case you just want to check those out. Love you guys. Hello you guys, and welcome to part 2 of our second Empire inspired build. Our build out of time a little bit, if you will. We're in the basement. If you didn't see part 1, I will hopefully remember to do one of those snazzy YouTube pop-up things. I'm gesturing wildly. You can't see, but that will pop up and lead you to part 1, because part 1 is where we do the main floor and the exterior, and it gives you a little bit more context as to what we're doing. Now we're doing the unfinished basement, the storage area. Some of it is finished in that the laundry room is down here, and there is a bathroom down here. And then we'll do the second floor and the attic in this build and kind of finish at the outside. In this part, not build, excuse me. The interesting thing I was mentioning in the last video about this one is you'll see me put a mouse hole in and you'll see me put spider webs in. This is the first time I put them in a house that I will actively be playing in. And I did not realize a spider actually manifests itself on that cobweb. It makes sense. I don't know why it shocked me when I saw it, but that was the first time I had ever seen that happen. Subsequently, that was also the first time I've ever seen a mouse come out of that mouse hole, both of which grossed me out, and both of which exist down here, and then the cobwebs also exist in the attic. The idea behind this build was that our single sim, Bernadette, inherited this house from her great aunt or something like that, and Bernadette is a sim out of time. She lives in her head, she is sort of a historian, a keeper of the time, and her favorite era is Sims, Second Empire, post-Civil Sims War style homes and living. That is weirdly specific, because I talked about in the first one how this home is highly inspired by sort of the Second Empire style that became in vogue in America in like the 1870s and 1880s. However, it is The Sims, so historically accurate is not something we can say here. And The Sim is heavily based on a historical my brain just died. A fashion historian on YouTube whose videos I have come to enjoy immensely, named Bernadette Banner, whose channel I will link down below. She has no idea I exist or anything like that. I just binge watched her channels and then decided to pull far too much inspiration out of her videos. But she's inspired our sim as well, and she's very much a person out of time, and our sim is very much a sim out of time. Here you can see me doing a lot of like really deciding on my little vignettes, especially on the second floor. I wanted it to be somewhere around cozy but also historic. The idea is that because she inherited the house, she really wanted to keep in with the style, but it also needed some modern convenience, and so we were trying to find a balance between, she would obviously want everything to be as close to honoring the house as possible, but she's also a 21st century sim. She needs a computer, her cats need pet food, things like that. I really struggled with the shape of this room. I talked about in the first video how at one point I had changed my mind and thought about putting a family in here, a family with 6 kids, because I got real ambitious for like a 2-week period. I ended up changing out of that because I wanted to stay true to the inspiration, and because I went back to binge watching Bernadette Banner's channel, I'll be entirely honest with you. I love her videos, my goodness, you should go subscribe. But part of the problem with putting a family in this house, despite the immense amount of room, is all of the rooms are oddly shaped, which is my fault. I built the darn thing. I shouldn't be mad about it, but I'm a little mad about it. This house is fairly huge for what it is. It is 2 furnished bedrooms, but there's room for 2 more easily upstairs. What did we say last time? 1, 2, 3, 4 full baths and 2 half baths. For those of you who maybe don't know what a half bath is, it just means there's no shower or tub. I don't know if that's an American thing or if that's a universal thing, but we say half bath when we mean a bathroom that has a toilet and a sink and no like full scale washing up gray water system kind of thing. That being said, the bedroom situation, yeah, there's only 2 furnished bedrooms, but there's an office that could be turned into a bedroom, and then there's 2 rooms in the attic. The attic is partially finished. I set it up to look like, I think I set it up as spackle, but I might have actually left it at the drywall, because the idea is she inherited the house and is fixing it up. It was pretty decrepit when she got it. So the basement is unfinished except for the washroom, which she needed done because she needed to be able to wash her clothes, and so she added the bathroom as well because, you know, if you're going to be doing all that plumbing down there, you might as well just like clean up the plumbing and finish it. But she didn't know what to do with the main space, so they just left it. And that's where the mouse hole is. And then, and we saw that was just filled with clutter and stuff. And I filled it with some props and things because I don't really know what the sim is going to do yet, because obviously the person that she's based off of is a fashion historian or a dress historian, which is a fascinating career and something I didn't know I was interested in, as I live in sweatshirts and baggy jeans. But I'm not sure how that equates in The Sims. I'm not sure. I've been kind of hunting through the careers and trying to decide, because like part of me is like, oh well, she should be an author, right? But then like I've done so many authors, and then I thought, well, maybe she should do like, I believe there's like an executive assistant role or like a business career, something like that. And then just this is her hobby or her lifestyle, but she does like a completely like mundane career. I don't know. And then I thought maybe like what's the word I'm looking for? Like social media influencer, because how cool would that be? And that would kind of fit with the inspiration of, you know, Bernadette Banner, because she's a YouTuber. But I didn't want to do YouTuber again because I think I just recently did a YouTuber, or that's coming up on the channel. I cannot remember. But also that required kind of an ugly desk, and I know that's silly, but the build, you gotta go for the build. And I didn't want to put that ugly YouTuber's desk in there, but for someone playing, like, actually this family in this house, if they were to play it that way, it would not be that hard to build a YouTube room. Heck, the attic is half finished. You could change that out easily. This room I loved. In my head it was like all the way pink with the pink walls, but there wasn't a shade of pink that I liked. I wanted, like, I don't even know how to describe it. In my head, it's like a Parisian pink that doesn't make any sense to anyone outside of my head. But I like the way this room turned out either way. This is the guest room. As it is a single sim, I did not do every room as a bedroom. She just simply isn't going to have that many people over, I don't think. But this house would grow. Like, you could get your sim married and have a ton of kids, and you'd be fine. You wouldn't have to change any of the exterior walls if you didn't want to. In the first part of this build, you actually saw me style part of the downstairs as a family home before I changed my mind back to the original inspiration, because I watched Shazam and then spent 2 weeks thinking that would be fun to do with this house, which it absolutely would be, but I think that idea needs more time to percolate and then its own build. Like, it deserves its own thing. This area of the house changes immensely because I decided, like, halfway through this floor, I was going to make the sim because I needed a little bit of inspiration into like some of these alcoves and things. And I ended up, it was right as the likes and dislikes dropped, which is very cool. Very, very fun. Within like 5 minutes of her being in this house, she decided she liked cooking, and I was like, I would too with the kitchen. Holy cow. You'll see it in the screenshots. At the end of this video, I have collected all of the screenshots instead of just the part 2 screenshots, because if you missed them in the first one or need a reminder, I wanted you to be able to see the whole house in this set of screenshots. Side note. But anyways, the likes and dislikes dropped when I was making her, and I honestly made her because I wanted to play with those and the new hairs, which were kind of terrifying because of the teeth thing. Hopefully that's fixed soon. But I was playing around with it, and I was like, what if she liked violin? What if she's kind of like musically inclined? That would be really, really fun. And so I ended up adding a violin in here. And then I was like, this house, it was like such a last minute decision. I was literally in the process of starting to take screenshots, and I was like, this house needs a grand piano. This house absolutely needs a grand piano. and so that whole alcove gets torn apart to put a grand piano in there. I have no idea. Do not ask me how they got them up the stairs. They had, I don't even know if there's a window you could stick a grand piano through, let alone a door. I have no idea how the piano got up there. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to worry about it, because I have no idea. Unless, I guess she's redoing the house. So, like, if you've got the money to redo, like, a giant house, maybe you have the money to just, like, temporarily knock down. I don't know. We're not going to talk about how the piano got in there. Also, I don't show, I think, a huge amount of the bathrooms, or I speed through them pretty quickly, because most of the bathrooms are, like, they're all pretty much the same. They're either blue or tan, and they're, I use, like, the same fittings and fixtures because they worked. I also use the same curtains throughout because I used the same windows throughout, and there's not many curtains that fit the windows. Also, I was gonna say, there's some rooms that are lighter than others, but they all have a little bit of like that gas lamp kind of dingy feel, which The Sims is so good at, as we all know. Yeah, this was me just bouncing around, finishing it up, putting things back and forth, and doing the outside. This house took so much work. I started it in January. In fact, the first recording I have of this house is January 2nd. At least that's the date. And then I just, like, I'm doing the voiceover today on June 7th. So 6 months. It wasn't, like, continual. I took, like, a 2-week period after the Shazam debacle. And I worked on it, like, in between other builds. Obviously, other things were going on. Things were getting posted to this channel. I did put flower boxes, I think, somewhere, maybe not. I can't remember if I left the flower boxes or not. I did want flower boxes, though. This is the upstairs, or we're going to be getting to the upstairs in a moment, I believe. This is me putting more cat things in, because I kind of forgot about the cats. Story of my life. And this is the upstairs. I ended up leaving the upstairs partially unfinished. I did find a layout that worked, finally, which was part of the reason that I struggled so hard with this build. Was layouts were very, very difficult. And originally I was like, I'm going to leave it completely unfinished. Oh, and then this kept happening. Side note. It might break when you place it. I don't know why the like side stuff kept breaking. But anyways, what I was going to say is the upstairs is partially finished. I liked the idea that she was working on it kind of in stages as she needed parts of the house. That's why the basement really isn't completely finished. She didn't know what to do with it, so she just, instead of throwing money at it, just opted not to. And kind of the same with up here. She's got some storage stuff up here. I put her childhood furniture up here. I thought that was kind of cute. Like, this is her first time being out of an apartment on her own, and so her parents were like, take your crap, right? Because parents are probably wanting a gym or something like that. So she's got her childhood furniture up here, and some just bits and bobs and stuff that got put up here for whatever reason. They got brought up here as part of a project, or she had plans and they just didn't work out. Side note though, as much as I tried to make this bed unusable, your sim will immediately try to come claim this bed. I tried to kind of turn the furniture such that it wasn't easy to use, and I put junk on the bed. Doesn't matter. They will go try to claim the bed. So, and there's a fireplace, I believe, on every every floor. Goodness, story or floor. My brain is very dead today. There's what was I saying? A fireplace on every floor except the basement, which would be helpful for heating in this situation. There's also radiators where fireplaces didn't quite work, and there's a radiator in this room, as well as a fireplace. And then yeah, I finally fit the fireplace in this room because I wanted one so bad, because she's using it as the master because it has the balcony. Realistically, like, if you looked at the floor plan, I would imagine, like, if a family moved in here, the parents would probably take the giant room upstairs. They could even reconfigure it to make it, like, a better shape. But it has an ensuite, or could have an ensuite. And there's a half bath in the attic as well. So I think she's probably going to turn it into a creative space. Here's me trying desperately to fit this piano in because this house needed a piano. I think I ended up flopping it, though. Oh yeah, here's me walking through very quickly trying to get, like, the styling right. Don't mind me. I apologize about the flashing back and forth. That's what happens in a giant closed-off house like this. I will put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video, though, for that bouncing back and forth. But yeah, here's the violin and the piano because she likes the violin. I think she's going to like the piano. Books everywhere. Books everywhere. I'm going through a reading phase. The sim is going through a reading phase. Here's all of the screenshots. I adore this house, you guys. And I'm simultaneously so excited to see it done and kind of sad it's done because, like, it's June. I started this in January. And, like, it's been a constant. It's been, like, a thing on my to-do list. A constant. So probably another big build I'm gonna have to figure out here pretty soon and there's a little back porch. I love the little back porch. And there's a teeny little garden-y space, but I didn't want to do much yard because this would have been a house in town, I think. Like downtown Atlanta or something like that. Probably. I desperately want to recolor those chairs solely because there's just not enough cute swatches, and those are actually really cute chairs. Here's the dining room space. You can see the bowl under there and the 2 bowls in here. There's only 2 cats, not 3 cats. However, cats are interesting, and so I gave them space. There's Bernadette. I think in a couple of these screenshots, you might be able to see the cats. They were pretty elusive. Here's our beautiful sunroom. It was dark when I took the screenshots, but it does get a lot of light with all those big windows. And our half bath and our back entrance are sort of like kind of a mudroom, but not really. Here's our basement space. The basement does have one single, what's the word I'm looking for, light bulb hanging down, which gives it a really nice glow, but unfortunately it did not photograph well, so it got some temporary photographer's lighting, if you will. Here's her office, kind of the messiest in the room, or in the house. Messiest room in the house. I really can't speak today, but in soft greens, and just another bathroom. I think it was supposed to be the guest bathroom was the idea behind it, but the litter box is in there, so it's clearly the cat's bathroom. There's really pretty guest space that she created. Sort of, I guess, would it be a Juliet balcony off that? I don't know. And then this has an actual balcony with a little sitting area that she could sit and enjoy, which I didn't realize had such an amazing view of the river until I was taking these screenshots, and then I was like, holy cow, I want to live here, which I kind of did before. And then here's just the attic space that is unfinished, but like partially finished. It's like, it's ready to be turned into a thing, right? Which I am kind of excited to see how it grows. Yeah, and then here's the other full bath. So there's a full bath and a half bath upstairs. Yeah. Here's the nighttime screenshots. You'll notice Vlad is at the door. I panicked mid-screenshot because he was trying to get in. And I was literally yelling, no. Alright guys, well that's it for our second Empire-inspired build. This build that took 6 months of my life. Holy cow. Soon you'll be seeing the sim that lives in this house up on the channel as well. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll speak to you soon.